People have taken this priesthood and turned it into an idolatry. Clergy and laity, this dichotomy, this separation, this only the priests can do certain things is Old Testament. You have a priestly responsibility yourself. The other day I saw a video of a church in South Africa called Unusual Occurrence Ministry. Unusual Occurrence Ministry. Now the pastor of this church said he had been to heaven and taken a selfie with God. It's not really a laughing matter. He had taken a selfie with God, and he came back to sell the selfie for 5,000 rand each. Now, how did he get a camera to heaven? First question. Because if you can't even take your own clothes to heaven, how do you get a camera to heaven? But let's forget that. Another priest, while everybody was still so shocked by this selfies, another person said, I don't even have to go to heaven to get a selfie from God. He comes down and takes selfies with me here on earth. And while that was going on, a Nigerian pastor said, one of his sons, he said, these things are not unusual to people like us. That level of taking selfie with God is a very small level. The level I am. And he said, look, one of my sons was in Germany and he wanted to go to Paris. So he called him on the phone, Daddy, I want to go to Paris. And he said to his son, go to the airport. So the son went to the airport, saw a queue. He said, stand in the queue. He said, but I don't have any papers. I don't have any documents. What am I going to tell them when I get to the front of the queue? And he said, stay in the queue. When he was about 6 places from the front, he said, go to the toilet. So he left the queue, went to the toilet, locked himself in the toilet. He said, now pray in the Spirit, pray in the Spirit, pray in the Spirit. Close your eyes and pray in the Spirit. After about 5 minutes of praying, he said, okay, you can open your eyes and leave the toilet now. And as he was leaving the toilet, he noticed that he was in France. I'm saying this to say we may be laughing at these things, but what has happened is people have taken this priesthood and turned it into an idolatry.
Hello guys, welcome to the show once again, and I'm glad to have you guys here. I just want to say that if you are a constant viewer of the channel and you enjoy what we do, please support us by subscribing. That helps the channel a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. And let me just say this one more time. I understand that my take on things are not the mainstream ones, and they are not as popular as yours. But nevertheless, I think it's my own opinion, and I think as a matter of courtesy, you should respect it. Likewise, I do respect your opinion, right? I hear people say things that are totally nonsensical, but I respect them all the same because I believe in people having opinions that are different from mine. So I will hope that we all extend this courtesy to one another. I will hope so. But coming to what the man of God said in this video, more too often you will hear people say that the devil is attacking the church, that people of the world are attacking the church, that people are against the church and are against the teachings of God. People do not want to see the doctrine of God thriving and survive. People are just there to destroy God's teachings on earth. The men of God are quick to jump to this narrative. But have they ever taken the time to re-examine themselves? Have they ever taken the time to ask themselves some questions? Have they ever taken some time to look into themselves to kind of like figure out if the reason why some people are against born again in Africa is because of what the men of God have said and done? Have they ever given that some thought? Because remember, a person who sees no fault in themselves, but rather blame other people for all their own problems, is a person who is not willing to grow. In order for you to grow, in order for you to become your best self, is to re-examine yourself, is to ask yourself if the situation you're facing today, you might have contributed one way or another to it. You must ask yourself this. You must put yourself in a position where you question your own actions and decisions. That is the only way you grow. But when you think that all the things happening to you, you share no fault at them, then you are not willing to grow. Because believe it or not, consciously or unconsciously, you have contributed in part or in full to whatever situation you are facing. You have contributed. The men of God, some of them, obviously, have made outrageous statements that people have found to be total lies. Some men of God have come out to use the Bible to line up their pockets. Some men of God have used the Bible to public shame people into giving them their hard-earned money. Some men of God have used the Bible to guilt people into funding one church project or the other. Some men of God have used God's name to lie and to collect money in the name of seed sowing. And they have used that money to enrich themselves. That is why you will see men of God owning a lot of properties here and there. So how can they come out and look at themselves as being blameless? How can they come out to blame people of the world, as they put it, for destroying the Bible, for attacking the church, without looking at themselves to see what they have done to provoke this? People have always criticized men of God. People have always looked at men of God and some of the things they have done and criticized them. For example, people criticize the Catholic Church for their teachings, for their worshiping, and also for their criminal actions that they have buried deep under the ground. Or the sexual harassment in the church, allegedly. People have criticized them on that. And people are now criticizing the born-again churches for their whole prosperity gospel of a thing that has only benefited men of God, but not the worshippers. People are saying that some men of God have pushed the envelope just too far. That some men of God have pushed their luck just too far. And a lot of people are being affected by their so-called prosperity gospel, seed sowing, tithes, and offerings. Times are hard. People are struggling. And if a man of God who has been telling all sorts of lies about prosperity from God, about sowing seed so that the Lord will double it for you is under critique from people. Shouldn't that man of God blame themselves? Shouldn't they? I'm just saying. When men of God said they went to heaven and saw golden paved road, and people are like, are you not? Have you gone cuckoo or not? And the men of God are like, they are trying to destroy the church. Shouldn't that man of God blame himself? When a man of God like Papa Daddy G.O. Enoch Adeboye said he drank tea with the Lord, what should people think about him? Should he blame people for saying that, Daddy G.O., we love you. We really do. We love you. But this statement doesn't sit well with us. Should Daddy G.O. blame them for not believing his lies? Should Daddy G.O. blame them? When Daddy G.O. come out and said that anyone who is not paying his tithe won't go to heaven, and people are like, "Oh, Daddy G.O., you again, Papa. We really love you, but you're making things hard for us. You're making us feel bad about calling you out on some of the things you say. We love you. We don't want to talk against you. We don't want to do anything against you. We don't want to criticize you. But you give us no choice. You push us to the wall. You cannot say stuff like this. Tithe is not a prerequisite for making heaven. Tithe is not. Tithe is not that one determining factor that will let you into heaven or not. Tithe is not. So when you say stuff like that, you gave us no choice. We have to kick against it. When another man of God, the popular man of God, Bishop David Oyedepo, comes out and said, Job in the Bible suffered a lot of afflictions because he was not paying his tithe. He was committed to giving liberally to the poor and the needy, but not paying tithe. And so he let the door open for the devil to attack him. When a man of God says something like this, what do you expect people to think about that person? What do you expect them to think? I just want you to give me your own take in the comment section below. When a man of God says something like this, what comes to your mind? Share that with us in the comment section below.